This is Rodney Ham, also known as Rebel Rod, an online comedian. You can look me up on Rodcast YouTube or Rodney Rebel on Facebook. I'm going to talk a little bit today about politicians spending too much time involved in the business of John Q. Taxpayer and how it can affect us today when we allow someone like Governor James Rhodes, referred to as Dusty, to dominate the governor's chair in the state of Ohio from 1963 until 1983. And then people like George Voinovich and others to not go back and take a look at the effects of Interstate 71 when it was established here in Ohio in the 1960s. There was land deals made that farmers told me about in Lebanon, Ohio, by the man known as, Mr. Banker, George Hinkle, who I met several times, including a pig roast down at the Lebanon racetrack, which was the last time I seen my friend Rodney King. Reflecting back on the conversations I had with these farmers, they had lost their land in a similar fashion as a lot of farmers did back when J.P. Morgan laid the tracks and had the deals worked out with U.S. Steel. Big business came in and took over a simple way of life for the farmer and made a lot of money off them railroads. Well, get up to the 1960s, they did the same damn thing with Interstate 71. And the bankers involved from the conversations I had were from Lebanon Citizens National Bank. The more they told me about it, the more it sounded like insider trading with commodities and stuff that had to fall back on the maps given to Dusty Rhodes and his ability to communicate that with the people sponsoring the campaigns like George Hinkle and Lebanon Citizens National Bank and others. When you follow this modern day Trail of Tears, it leads to the 7th District Senate seat held by Steve Wilson because he was a part of those charter banks here from National City called Lebanon Citizens National Bank. And ours here locally is down in Waynesville at the Harrison Square on the corner of Main and North Street. We had representatives from that bank like Lonnie Shear and many more. Now, the power that Lebanon Citizens National Bank has, a lot of it, derived from the money they generated from people putting their money in the banks and them investing it. And if they did invest it in this land from the farmers and then told around and sold it at a much higher price because they had information about Interstate 71, then no doubt about it, other beneficiaries are people like Mark Hazelwood and Mr. Seminarelli from Springboro, because they both are involved in Marathon's portfolio. Mark Hazelwood owns what we would consider to be Speedway's truck stops, Flying J and Pilot, that run up and down every interstate in America. He owns the Cleveland Browns and reflected some of that Warren County sentiment up there when he got in trouble for $55 million worth of electronic fraud committed when he didn't honor the fuel card rebate program offered by Pilot Flying J. They also recorded him with some racial statements as he listened to David Allen Coe at a Christmas party, and he suffered tremendously in the media when I worked for him back in 2018. If you want to check it out, all you got to do is Google it. And then you can bring it down, if you want to, and go back to our mayor here in Waynesville, Ohio, who resigned over these type of sentiments that were shared with him because of a traffic stop that he got involved with to help me and my handicapped brother, Billy Ham. We were pulled over on Main Street by Store 5 down at McDonald's, and the police accused me of being a Kehoe brother. And I'm not. I'm not associated with white supremacy in any way, shape, or form, except for the fact that my great-great-great-grandfather is Andrew Jackson. Our family tree gets twisted a little bit because it was back in the mountains of Tennessee, and they might have a hard time locating the birth records of James Donaldson, who lived in Crab Orchard, Tennessee, and his mom and dad lived across the street from him, right outside of Nashville. So maybe that's the reason that they believe that I had something to do with any kind of white supremacy. I don't know. But we need a memorial built here in Waynesville, Ohio, like the ones that they have for Charlie Morgan, the man who told me about a civil rights murder and a secret funeral over there in Section A at the cemetery in Waynesville, Ohio. And I have tried to send people information like J.R. Fry from K99.1 and hope to generate some interest in locating this man for his family and possibly locating the man responsible for his murder. But it's fell on deaf ears, even though I've used social media and have all kinds of emails about it. So apparently, here in Warren County, Ohio, no one cares about this dead black man, somebody's grandpa, somebody's son, somebody's father. So if you can help me share this information, I'd greatly appreciate it. And for more, go to Rodcast on YouTube and share it.